Hi, this is Erynn Williams, and for my course project, the species I selected was the South China tiger. The South China tiger, commonly known as the Chinese tiger, is the most endangered subspecies of tiger. It is also the smallest subspecies of tiger out of the 6 remaining subspecies, with their average weight for both male and female being around the range of 270 to 400 pounds. The last sightings of the South China tiger in the wild were in the 1970s. This tiger is presumed extinct in the wild. In the past, the South China tiger inhabited an estimated area of 1,250 miles east to west and 950 miles north to south in China. All tiger subspecies need large areas of territory as they are solitary animals outside of the mating season. Habitat loss and poaching have caused a steep decline in all tiger subspecies populations. The biggest threats to the South China tiger are loss of natural habitat and human conflicts. Clearing land for commercial and agriculture use has left viable habitats for tigers scarce and fragmented across Asia. Tigers are also poached for their skins for decoration and their body parts, which are believed to have medicinal properties. During the mid-1900s, tigers were exterminated heavily due to human conflicts and killing livestock. Due to increased threats, the South China tiger population is very small and contained only in captivity. When counted in 1986 during a study, only 40 South China tigers remained in captivity. 18 of those were female. Due to this limited population, genetic diversity was dangerously reduced due to the genetic drift or the bottleneck effect. Genetic issues. Due to the small population and lack of genetic research, the South China tigers were mismanaged and were bred too rapidly. Their population did increase, but the offspring showed signs of inbreeding, which can decrease their chance of survival. Inbreeding in tigers causes them to be at an increased risk for genetic disorders and mutations. When surviving offspring shows signs of genetic problems, their ability to produce effectively diminishes when they reach sexual maturity. In a recent captive breeding program, 242 cubs out of 568 cubs died at different stages of life after being born due to genetic problems. The South China tiger population is suffering from a massive loss of genetic diversity despite recent successes in captive breeding programs. Possible solutions. A solution to help enlarge the gene pool of the South China tiger is to possibly introduce Indo-Chinese tigers or Amur tigers and allow them to mate with the South China tigers. A similar strategy was used to help the highly inbred population of Florida panthers. But researchers have discovered genetic problems that could rise if different subspecies of captive populations were mixed. Conservation efforts. In the recent decades, the Chinese State Forestry Administration has been providing support to programs with goals at restoring natural habitats across China. Multiple reserves have been set up where the last South China tigers reside, with protection and support from the Chinese government. The Chinese project has introduced the South China tiger to a protected area in South Africa to help separate the bloodlines and to create more genetic diversity for future breeding programs. The tigers in Africa also get to properly hunt their food, learning skills they would need if they were reintroduced back into the wild. Goals. The goals for saving and restoring the South China tiger are to build up the population's genetic diversity and reintroduce them back into the wild. Habitat restoration taking place in China is increasing viable habitat areas for Asian wildlife to recover after decades of habitat destruction. Conclusion. Despite threats of inbreeding, captive breeding programs of the South China tiger are doing well with an over 50% survival rate. More reserves areas in China will continue to protect and breed tigers. The efforts to move and breed more South China tigers in South Africa is expected to continue.